Hello, Julia. How you doing? Give you a little sneeze. Gonna clean it up for next time, okay? How can I help you? Is there any way I can help you?
Try bleach, try toothpaste.
Toothpaste isn't working for you?
No.
Okay, I recommend soaking it, and then throw it in the wash. If we're still struggling, we'll figure try something different next time. Okay, please your nails. Okay, that's okay. Wear gloves today, and then let's get a quick stand up class. We're good, thank you. Hello, Riley. How you doing? Good, awesome. You do a little spin? You were good. You're ready to go. Thank you, Riley. Hello, Chef. Tony.
How are you?
How you doing? I'm
Good.
doing well.
Good job.
Okay, and I see you okay? Hands are good to go. I can see a few little stains on your apron. That's okay for today. Next time, let's just make sure we get it wrong. Like one little spin for me. Okay, I do see some flour on your back.
You do?
Yes,
Come
I
on.
do. That's okay. That's okay. So next time before we come to class, let's make sure we thoroughly clear our jacket. If you need, you can put it on a hanger and then put it on right before we begin. And then you see them.
I'm back, right, chef.
Okay. That's okay. But now that class is started, do you mind putting up the gum? And then we'll not into here. Okay. Let's go throw the gum in the trash can, and then you can go and wash your hands, and then we're
Yes, chef.
Thank you. Hello. How you doing, Kristen? I'm doing well. Can I just your tail? Perfect. Okay, let's do a spin for me. You're good. Thank you, Kristen. Hello, Amara. Hi, Chef. How are you? I'm doing well. How are you? Good. Nails. Perfect. Good. Spin. We're good to go. Thank you. We're gonna hold off 1 second, and then we'll get started. How's everybody's day going? Are you doing fun?
Oh yeah, I reorganized my couch.
Without me?
I moved my couch. Not like organization, it was just more like furniture moving.
Okay. So we're gonna get into class today. Once again, the topic for today is allergen-friendly food preparation. Today we're gonna do some allergy-friendly baking, which I'm super excited about. There we go. So today's agenda. So to start, we already did uniform checks, so that's one off the list. We are going to review some goals. We are going to go over cross contact, and then finally, I'm most excited about. We are going to prepare the baked good recipe that you guys developed. That is going to be from 6:30 to 8, so you'll have an hour and a half to get that done. Then we are all going to share, we're all going to taste test, and then we are going to do some one-on-ones with me to review how production went for you. And then finally, cleanup time. Do you have a volunteer who would be willing to read our first goal for today? Okay, I saw Julia's hand up first. Tony, you could do our second one.
Understands, demonstrate proper procedures to prevent allergy from cross contact.
Thank you, Julia. Tony, can you read our second one for us?
Properly sanitize workstation and cooking utensils.
Yep, we're going to cover that today. And then we okay, Karen, do you mind reading our last one?
Describe how an ingredient within a dish plays a role in the texture, moisture, and flavor of the completed product.
Thank you, Kara. So moving on forward, we're going to activate some of our prior knowledge, and we're going to build upon that knowledge today. So does anyone perhaps remember what are some ways we can prevent cross contact from occurring when cooking for those with food allergies? Any thoughts? Laura?
Clean, clean, clean.
Yes, that's crucial, very important. We're going to learn more about how to clean today. Kara?
Use separate utensils.
Yeah, that's key. That's very important. Any other thoughts?
Different color cutting board.
Yeah, we can do that. Where I work, we actually use purple boards to designate between our normal food and then our foods with food allergies. We don't have any in the kitchen today for us to work with, so instead we're going to be super aware of what food we have on our cutting boards and on our equipment to make sure there is no cross contact happening during that. Okay, so moving on forward, we're going to watch a video. So this video is about 5 minutes long, and it does review some of the things that we have covered previously in our 2 classes, and it's going to teach you guys some new skills that we'll be able to use today.
Allergies are becoming more and more important to your customers.
customers and their children. They rely on you to provide accurate information and serve them safe foods. In fact, half of all fatal food allergy reactions are triggered by food prepared by others and thought to be safe. So, just how important is food allergen awareness? Simply stated, about 1 out of 25 adults shopping your store has a food allergy. But when it comes to kids under 4 years old, that number jumps to as many as 1 out of 13. Between 1997 and 2011, food allergies among children increased about 50%. So if customers have questions, take them seriously. Speaking of questions, what exactly is an allergen, and what are the most common food allergens? An allergen is any substance that causes an allergic reaction, often a protein. When it comes to food, milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts like almonds, cashews, and walnuts, wheat, soy, fish, and shellfish account for 90% of food allergy reactions. These ingredients are commonly referred to as the top 8.
Sesame has been
In
added.
the United States, the FDA requires that the top 8 are clearly listed on the label of any packaged food being sold. But if you don't know what an ingredient is, don't guess. Check with your manager, store dietitian, the product label, or help the customer get in touch with the manufacturer. Ultimately, it's up to the customer to decide what is safe and what isn't. Providing incorrect information can literally mean the difference between life and death. A small amount of an allergen can put a person down for the count. Food allergies are often confused with food intolerance because they share common symptoms. However, they're not exactly the same thing. Food intolerances are a digestive system response that primarily affects the stomach. Food allergies occur when the immune system mistakenly identifies a food protein as a threat and attacks it, which can affect your whole body. This type of reaction is called anaphylaxis and can be fatal. Food allergies cannot be cured. Avoidance and prompt management of symptoms is the only way to prevent serious health consequences. To help make sense of all this, let's consider milk. You might have heard of lactose intolerance. That's when someone can't digest milk's sugar, lactose, because they're missing the enzyme needed to break it down. But people with milk allergies must avoid milk entirely because their immune systems attack milk proteins, causing a life-threatening reaction. It's no surprise that cheese is made from milk. But did you know that because of the aging process, aged cheese has less lactose than other dairy products? That means lactose intolerant customers might actually be able to eat it, but those with milk allergies can't because the proteins are still there. While food intolerances can cause significant discomfort, they are not life-threatening. Food allergies, on the other hand, can be. As you prepare food and help customers make choices, there are 3 basic things to keep in mind. First, understand where and how to get product information to help customers make their own decisions. If you don't know what an ingredient is, say so. Let your customers decide for themselves what's safe and what isn't. Second, know how to handle food properly to avoid cross-contact. Even the smallest trace of peanut dust, or peanut powder in food where it's not meant to be can be life-threatening for some people. Remember, a small amount can mean down for the count. Some places use lavender-colored equipment to separate food preparation. You can avoid cross-contact by storing common allergen ingredients in tightly covered, dedicated containers and using separate work areas and utensils. Our video called Keeping Food Safe has some other tips on, well, keeping food safe. Third, practice good personal hygiene and perform proper cleaning and sanitizing. Wash your hands and change your gloves before and after each customer transaction and after any process that might contaminate them. Thoroughly clean and sanitize equipment used during food preparation, avoiding any spills and splashes. If you haven't noticed, allergies are serious. As a result, your customers need you to take their questions and concerns seriously. As you do, remember, help customers find accurate information. If you don't know what something is, say so. Let your customers decide for themselves what's safe and what isn't. Be aware of the most common allergens in your department and understand how and where they're used. And properly handle and prepare food in order to prevent cross-contact. Food allergies are a serious issue for food manufacturers and your store, but they're deadly serious for some of your customers.
Okay. We're gonna move on.
If you have food
Okay, now I need your guys' help. I've been wanting a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, so I'm gonna make one today. However, my friend does have a peanut allergy, so I want to make them a jelly sandwich. So I'm gonna make a sandwich, and as I'm making it, can you guys pay close attention to see what ways I might be potentially doing cross contact during this process?
Yes, sure.
Thank you. So you guys don't have to, we're gonna discuss them after the fact. So if you guys could just stay quiet so that everybody has a chance to see what might be going on. Start with bread. I have brioche bread. I love brioche bread.
So good.
It's so good. So for my sandwich, I like creamy peanut butter. Does anyone team crunchy? No? No crunchy.
I like it crunchy.
Okay. I like crunchy too. You like crunchy?
Love it.
I
Crunchy,
like it
okay.
stuck in the back of your teeth.
Yeah.
I like little bits, like
Okay, so I have my peanut butter. And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab my jelly. What jelly do we like? Does anyone have a preference?
grape.
Grape? Okay, I don't like grape.
Strawberry.
Strawberry. Strawberry's a good one. That's what I'm using today. I like raspberry. And I like my peanut butter and jellies toasted. Those are good. And then are we team cut in half? Or team cut diagonal? Or straight up and down?
And half.
No, like,
Oh, we're torn. Okay.
And half.
We're gonna go this way today. This is how I want my sandwich. So we're gonna do this. I destroyed my bread a little, but that's okay. So now we're gonna go and we're gonna make my friends. I'm gonna change my gloves to get rid of because I did use peanut butter. Put this down here. Some fresh gloves. Haven't got them on today. So like they mentioned in the video, peanut allergies can be so severe. Just being in a room where peanuts are present can trigger an anaphylactic reaction, which is so serious. So I'm going to grab my knife that I had just used for jelly, and I'm going to put some jelly on my friend's sandwich. And then we're not going to cut this one, they don't want to cut. So here's my sandwich. Does anyone potentially know what I may have done wrong here? Nimrod, do you want to start for us?
You use the same knife that it was on the same plate.
Okay.
You clean up the knife and discuss what happened.
Yeah, so even though I had a separate jelly knife, I put it right next to each other. I touched it with the knife, and that in itself is enough to trigger an allergic reaction for someone. Did anyone notice anything else? Laura?
you have the peanut butter container like actively open and really close to where you were prepping.
Yep, that
It's
should
easy
be,
for particles to go flying.
that should be an immediate no. They should be in a separate workstation. Are there any other things that you guys saw?
When you were putting the jelly, your gloves touched the other knife, so that's also.
Yep, that's correct. I did not wash my hands before I put gloves on. And there's one other thing that's standing out. Amara.
You didn't wash the surface.
Exactly. I did not sanitize my surface. So with that in mind, we're going to go right into how do you sanitize a workstation. So we're going to do this right now. Do we have someone who's willing to read the first step of this for me, Nimra? So I was pretty clean. I don't have any crumbs left over on the surface. However, if I was dropping peanut butter all over the counter, then I would want to scrape that before I get my bucket and begin. We have someone who's willing to read step 2 for us. If you can see it. Riley?
Wash the surface, green bucket.
Yeah, so we're going to take our green bucket here with a fresh towel. There's nothing has been used with this bucket to clean any surface. So this is a brand new bucket. So we're going to take our soapy water and we're going to go all over throughout the entire surface. And as you can see, my towel is drying a little. I'm going to re-dunk it in just to get some more soapy water on it to get the surface clean. And while I'm doing this, can someone read the next step for us? Any volunteer?
Sanitize the surface.
Yes. So we're going to take our red bucket. I have a fresh towel, fresh bucket. I'm going to get my towel nice and immediately with a dry towel and try to dry it off. I'm gonna let it sit there and I'm gonna let it air dry. It's out of our way. So there are many other things to keep in mind when you are preparing food for those with food allergies. Do we have someone who's willing to read our first one for us?
Each utensil and piece of equipment is thoroughly sanitized prior to using it.
Yeah, so like Toby had mentioned previously and the video had mentioned, some establishments do have purple buckets. That's what we call them where I work. And it's exactly that. It's a bucket and then it's filled with all sorts of equipment that are used exclusively for specific food allergies. We have a gluten one where I work. We have a dairy one where I work. We have them for all of the different major allergies that we commonly see in the theme park. However, as you can see right here, we do not have a purple bucket. So instead, when we grab a piece of equipment, we want to make sure that that has been thoroughly cleaned, thoroughly sanitized, so that there's no chance of cross-contact while we're preparing. Tony?
If you work in a restaurant that has a bake shop, can it ever really be like allergen free?
So I was going to touch on that a bit with the division of tables and where stuff is done. Gluten is one that is important to keep in mind because flour can be so airborne. It can just fly up in the air. So with that, you want to make sure that your customer knows that this product is produced in a facility where products containing gluten are produced. It's definitely important to keep in mind. And then with that, always make sure you want to make sure and that you are completely able to confirm that that product is free of an allergen before you do bring it to a guest. So like I mentioned, I work in a theme park. We see a lot of kids with a lot of severe allergies on a day-to-day basis. So what I do is I bring that box of product directly out to the dining room. And I will show them, okay, here's the label on this box. This is what this food does contain. Do you feel comfortable with this? Let them be completely aware and be open with what these things have because it is so severe. Do you have someone willing to read our next one? Julia?
You have to properly wash your hands before placing them.
Yep, so as you can see, I did not wash my hands before I started making that sandwich for my friend. I just put gloves right on. I didn't even clean them in between tasks. So we want to make sure we are thoroughly washing our hands. And gloves are a big one. People don't even realize half the time. They'll just take the gloves off and then they'll just throw on a new pair. We need to make sure that we're washing our hands in between these. And then our final one. You want to read Deborah?
Ensuring you are not to wash the workstation that is away from the edge of the allergy.
Like I mentioned before, gluten and working with flour is a big one to keep in mind because things are so airborne. But if you are, some of you guys have selected eggs, some of you guys have selected milk, you want to make sure you aren't working at a table with someone who has that allergen because then if it's right next to you, the chance of you potentially getting in contact with that is so significantly greater. It's time! Yay! I'm so excited. So I have printed out recipes for each of you, the recipes that you have submitted online. Some of you might see some highlights on some ingredients that weren't included in the ingredient list that I provided. That's okay. We're going to figure out potential substitutes that we can use given the ingredients that we have with us today. So just to start, like we mentioned before, we were going to choose a table partner that has selected the same allergen to avoid as you have. So for example, if we have someone who has selected an egg allergy, and then we have someone who's maybe doing milk, but they still have eggs in their product, you want to make sure you're not at the sharing a table with them. So then moving forward to start, what you guys are going to do is going to be sanitize your workstation. You're going to go and you're going to make sure your hands are thoroughly clean. We're going to make sure that all equipment has been thoroughly cleaned so that you're ready to go. So you guys are going to complete your mise en place, get everything all ready to go. If you have some highlights on your recipe, choose some ingredients. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing to help you with that. And then once you're all done with your mise en place, I'll check in. I'll give you guys the good to go once you guys are set to go. Do we have any questions before Amara?
I think we have enough tables that we can all be separate. Is that okay, or do we have to share?
You don't have to share if you don't want to. I just wasn't sure we are missing a friend tonight, so that's all. Okay. Are we ready? Okay, so I'll give you guys your recipes. If you have any questions at any point, please let me know. I'm here to help you. So we have Amara. Sorry,